Yeah. Welcome. What's up, good people? I'd like to welcome you and yours to the Dear Father book concert, the first ever virtual Dear Father book concert. Loving to have you all here. I want to start out by saying happy Father's Day to all the fathers, all the grandfathers, godfathers, the brothers, the uncles, the big brothers in the hood, the big homies, those who look out for the village. We're going to have a good time today. This is about rebuilding the village. This is about healing. This is about us coming back together the way things were meant to be, built to be. So I'm going to take you through a journey today. This is centered around the power of forgiveness and also the power of poetry, and we're going to have a good time. For me, the story starts in Chicago, and oftentimes you look at who you are and where you come from and the climate that you're dealing with. And we know what the climate is right now. We're no stranger to the violence and the negative infliction that's been placed upon black bodies over and over again, century after century after century. So I want to start out with a poem I wrote, which was a reflection, a reminder of who I am, what I'm dealing with, and where it is I want to go. And the key to the piece, the key to the story, the purpose of it, was reminding myself to always have balance. And no matter what it is we're setting out to do. So I'm going to kick it off with Be Cool. Welcome, y'all. Happy y'all here with us. My name is Jay Ivy, by the way. Peace. They judge you before your eyes even open. Off jump, they coming for your throat before words even spoken. When you touch down, you gotta let them know that you get things in motion, but be clear. They feel your dedication, they feel your devotion. They love and hate your skin tone, treat you like an immigrant when you been home. Bronze like the pennies the brother Abe owned, envy is the drug that they own. Every breath I take is a hit. Cause we're striking like the ancient Egyptians they clone. Our people are beautiful down to the bone, down to the soul. Control is the goal. We in the city of God cause the slums is all they want us to know. And they think we ain't know. Thought you was just street smart. Can't understand how you come up with this street art. Didn't understand they was dealing with men, women, mothers, fathers. 2 years, some of ours slipped through the cracks. But the ones that we put nothing above, the way they look up to us, man, that's beautiful. Fly like the sauce is being flown. Yo, they tapping your line, so use your thoughts to iPhone home. Send moms a highlight tape of this Twilight Zone. We're extraordinary, extraterrestrial. ET's got them uneased. Now they building space stations trying to police the ozone. Oh, no. They're trying to protect their boys from illegal aliens visiting from other worlds. We was sent here by way of God's referral. Peel back our skin and see our light. Peel back the legs and see our fight. Get high off life. Rest your head on the cloud. Dodge them chemtrails. If the walls could talk, they tell you they wouldn't want to walk on our shoes and listen to the tales our Tim's tell. Came from the heavens, now we dwell in hell. Enslaved by a country that still hates me, wants me in jail. Discriminates against us, want to hold us down. Man, we too profound. That's why they want us to behave. Show us how they feel with 12 years a slave. Media hop on the field and they run they plays all day. They say and replay that you a thug. You all he want is our women, our gold, our figures. Ain't nothing but an animal with his claws on the trigger. There's a difference between brands and labels. They invite you to the table, try and label your brand. Change the beat of your band or orchestrate the land with your hand. Man, The challenge is staying balanced. Never too high, never too low. Stuck in the middle with a mean flow, a mean show. I see you, sis. I see you, bro. You can move any room, work any crowd. They can't quiet your loud. So keep feeding them and feeding them. It ain't black versus white. It ain't rich versus poor. It's wrong versus right. And what's right is that the babies keep eating and eating. You ain't never been a fool. So just remember to use your tools. Be you. And no matter what they do, always remember that you go be cool. Welcome. So the journey was based on trying to find your cool and trying to find your balance and trying to stay sane in the midst of all the chaos and the storm of it all that we've been placed in, especially as Black Americans. And it's more evident now today than it's ever been. For me, it was difficult at times coming up on the south side of Chicago, born to a loving mother who was a nurse, registered nurse, worked in dialysis, shout out Lady P, and born to a father who was a DJ. And I would listen to him on the radio before I walked to school in the mornings. He had this voice. His voice was so amazing. And his name is Jim Richards. And as life progressed, for me as a child growing up on the south side, 87 in Winchester, it was evident that we were faced with some obstacles. The neighborhood was beginning to shift, and the loving neighborhood that we lived in was beginning to become more and more interrupted by the imbalances of our society. And drugs became a huge factor, not only in the neighborhood, but also in my household. Drugs and alcohol became a huge factor in my pop's life. And the hurt that he grew up with, the imbalance that he grew up with because of his childhood, it often surfaced because of the healing that he hadn't found. So my folks, they split, they separated, then they divorced. And my mom's, being the strong Black woman that she is, said, I gotta protect my 3 Black boys from the streets of Chicago. She didn't want to see us become swallowed up by Chicago life. So she decided to move us out to the suburbs because I was coming into my high school years, and she wanted me to go to high school in the burbs. I had landed in this school called Risk Central, and I met this teacher named Ms. Argue. And Ms. Argue had us write a poem for homework. Later, she made me perform that poem on stage. And my first time ever on stage, I got a standing ovation. I just fell in love with realizing that I had a voice, realizing that if I spoke, people would listen. And I just needed those performances. I needed those moments on stage. I needed to write. I need to write. I need to sit my Black narrow ass down and write. Yeah, the hustle got me hustling, but I'm muscling myself out of time for me. Well, what about me, I ask? What about the stories that I need to tell? I need to write, because can't nobody do it for me. Can't nobody document my inspirations the way I can. Can't nobody compliment my aspirations the way I can. Only I can, only I can, only I can. So I need to write. I need to gather up some words and write. I need to gather some thoughts and write. I need to write because I'm tired of hearing the same old pieces. I know y'all tired of hearing the same old pieces because the same old pieces got the same old problems, but I got new problems, more problems, problems that change, problems that rearrange. This homeless cat asked me for some money, but got mad at me because I ain't got no spare change. I need to write. Me and my girl been arguing. I need to write. My boy told me I need to take it to the next level, so I need to write. My pops died and it's hard dealing with it. I need to write. I know y'all can't wait for the book. I need to write. They done stole my hoopty. I need to write. The cops said I fit the description. I need to write. My little brother got mugged by some grown thug. I need to write. I need to write. My ex tried to get my boy. I need to write. The weatherman acting awfully funny. I need to write. Cops killing brothers. Cops killing sisters. Free Mumia. I need to write. Also, I'm bogus because I didn't come to your event because I was tired. I need to write. I distinctly remember asking for 6 wings of mild sauce. Why is it only have 4? I need to write. I think about writing in third person when the first is hurting. Life is a job and the verse is working. My soul's rehearsing for when the good Lord pulls the curtain. Words are words, so maybe it's your actions that's doing the cursing. I need to write. I said, I think about writing in third person when the first is hurting. Life is a job and the verse is working. My soul's rehearsing for when the good Lord pulls the curtain. Words are words, so maybe it's your actions that's doing the cursing. I need to write. Just yesterday, and I mean just yesterday, it was illegal for me to write. Where my pen at? I need to write. So that's what I did. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And as time went on, I realized the power of words. I realized the effect that we can have on one another by the words that we speak, our words that carry energy. And the more I would perform, the more I would get a chance to get out in front of people, that reality, it became more and more evident. Whatever I decided to put out there, it shifted folks' consciousness, their perspective, their day, their mood. And it reminded me over and over and over again that words have power, especially when it comes from those or doesn't come from those that you love the most. We need that energy. We need that exchange of love, light, joy, happiness. So as I went on and I performed, I was taught lesson after lesson. And I remember one time I performed at a rehabilitation center for recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. And I performed this poem called Wings. And after performing this poem, there was a lady that was in the rehabilitation center, and she told me that she had lost her father, her son, and her husband back to back to back, 1 month after the next. And she was devastated. And she said, after hearing Wings, after hearing this poem, and I was a kid at the time, I really didn't understand the power of words or the responsibility that came with it. I was still learning that. But she told me that after hearing this poem, it was the first time that she found peace since their passing. And it was a huge lesson for me that words do have power. So I'd like to perform this poem for you. It's called Wings. Hello? Is anybody out there? I got a story to tell. Is anybody out there listening to my story? My story. Somebody's got to hear my story.
Angel, where you going with that gun in your head?
Today I plan on going to see my girlie, cause Furley and his 3 peeps ain't keeping good company. Luckily I got enough change to fill my tank up to a quarter, so I guess I'll roll out like coins or holy pockets. Man, it's starting to get hot out here like rockets on launch pads, so like my dad, I'm taking off with the wind beneath my wings. My wings, woo! Man, them hell chicken wings are starting to smell so good. On the norm, I would stop, but see, I'ma keep on going like flowing rivers and streams. I see this green light evaporates to right horse my actions like a dam, but I'm not tripping cause I'm receiving mental satisfaction from this ma'am on the corner. But as I look at Pocahontas, she begins to shiver, then scream. Simultaneously, I feel the warmth of a bright gleam of light break through the door to my left. I take a deep breath, it's me and another being. Exchange words. Get out the car, huh? Get out the car. Angel, is that you girls, me, Jay? Why you tripping down the car? Look, I don't know who you are, get out right now. Angel, man, you was my shorty when we were shorties. Get out the ride now. Angel, man, you was the first girl I kissed. Get out the ride now. Angel, now. Angel, now. Angel, pie. I guess my actions were too slow, because I watched as a right index glide through the air, pulling back on the crescent moon-shaped trigger, releasing a horrific sound more horrific than that word. Come on! Some cat said moments after my skull was pierced by the metallic demon. I was screaming loud, but really wasn't saying nothing, because my heart was pumping silently, and everybody had their eyes on me like those spies of World War III. But me was, see, my eye was on the sparrow sitting on top of the red lights. My soul began to take flight until the level I started thinking about that devil that's been trying to dig me under like shovels. So I'm trying to pull through like pulleys so I can reside at 7 North Heavenly Lane, because that bright light from above was beginning to rain onto me like thunderstorms. My spiritual tears beginning pouring as I continue my soaring towards the light. The light. I could feel my soul absorb the light as I continue my flight upward like rubber handles on escalators or outcasts on them elevators. So I guess I see you gators later, cause this kid here, it's just got his wings. Y'all can't believe it. I actually got my wings, yo. Somebody tell my moms and the baby boys, alright? Cause I just got my wings. Somebody tell my brothers that I love them, but I just got my wings. Somebody tell my boys I ain't gonna be able to kick it no more, cause I just got my wings. Somebody tell my girlie I ain't gonna make it over today, cause I just got my wings. Somebody tell my angel, my sweet, sweet angel, my sweet, sweet angel, my sweet, sweet, sweet angel of death, that I'm alright. Cause I just got my wings. Everything is looking up like 7, cause I'm feeling heavenly with my wings. Hello? Is anybody out there listening to my story? Anybody? Somebody? Please, please tell everybody that I'm all right. The ancestors, all right. Cause I just got, cause they got my wings. Yeah. So, the power of words. I learned that lesson real well, real quick. And I kept pursuing poetry. Poetry is my love. I fell in love with it. in high school, pursued it through college, hit the Chicago scene, and it was what I knew, and what I knew I was great at. I was confident. If there was one thing I was confident in, it was the fact that I knew I could put words on the page and present them in a way that would hopefully have a positive effect on someone in their life and their day. And I kept pursuing it, and the more that I would write, you can't help but look inward. You can't help but self-reflect. You can't help but dig deep and discover new pieces of who you are. So as my journey progressed, there was a lot of self-discovery. Every poem was like a little piece of mirror, and every piece I wrote, that mirror would grow and grow and grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger, until finally I was able to see myself, and I was able to see the things that I loved, and I was able to see the things that I didn't love. And a big factor in my life, a big hole in the soul, as it's been said, was the fact that my pops wasn't there. At this point, 10 plus years had gone by, and I hadn't seen or heard from my father. And now I'm a seasoned poet on the scene, and I'm doing my thing in Chicago. I'm a young man discovering who I am and figuring out who I want to be and what I want to present to the world, what legacy I want to leave, what history I want to make. And as I was moving around, and as I was having these moments of self-discovery and digging into these thoughts and these ideas and this poetry, I realized how upset I was, how angry I was, how sad I was, how depressed I would get because my father wasn't there. And I mean, it hurt to the core. It hurt to the core. And I wanted to get rid of that pain, but I didn't know how. So I did what men are taught. I ignored it. I mean, not just men, a lot of us, men, women, we all are taught to hide our feelings. I think men more so. We're taught to be tough and macho, and you don't talk on this and don't talk on that, and you don't wear your heart on your sleeve. That's not who you need to be if you want to stay guarded and protected to get through this world, especially as a black man in this world. So I didn't talk about my feelings much, outside or through my poetry. And I got to a point where I had a moment of I guess there was a crack in the door, and that crack came when I was speaking with my older cousin Julia, who's like the big mom of our generation. And I don't know what moved me, but maybe it was her love, maybe it was, I always trusted her, I always looked up to her, and I opened up. This day I decided to open up, and I told big cuz how I felt. And my cuz, she was like, look, she's like, you gotta learn how to forgive your father. She's like, you don't forgive your father, you'll carry that pain with you for the rest of your life. And it hit me, because I'm like, man, how do you forgive somebody who ain't even around? Like the idea of forgiveness had never crept into my mind, because my pops wasn't even there. He wasn't around. I hadn't seen him in so long. So over the next few months, I started to wrestle with this idea of forgiveness, forgiving my father. And one day I had a performance at Trinity United Church of Christ on 95th. And one of my guys, we had performed together. He sang, and then they asked him to come back up and sing another song. He went up to sing another song, and he gave a testimony about someone dear to him that he had lost in his life. And seeing that hurt, seeing his void, it made me hurt for him. It made me feel his pain, but then it made me reflect on my pain, my hurt, my void. And in that moment, I found myself just bawling out of control, falling to the floor, praying to God, saying, God, I forgive my father. I just want to see him. I want to tell him I love him. I want to tell him I miss him. This was a Thursday. 2 weeks later on a Thursday, my father, he called me out the blue. called me out the blue. And it just really blew my mind that after so long, after coming to grips with forgiveness, after deciding to let that pain go, that mental, spiritual, and physical pain go, here was my pops, my hero on the other end of the line. And the day he called, I wasn't feeling the best. So a few days later, I went to go see him, and it was overwhelming, to say the least. I have a quote that says, "If you don't deal with your emotions, one day your emotions go deal with you." And here I was dealing with these emotions. I've been at these crossroads where when I would try and tuck and hide those feelings, they would creep up and they would fester, and the anger would deepen, and the depression would deepen, the sadness would deepen. And here I am, just being overwhelmed with emotions, seeing my father, seeing him open the door. I'm expecting to see a giant because I was 12, 13 last time I saw him, and now I'm towering over him, and life had beat him up, and he was close to 60 at the time, but he looked like he was close to 80, and I felt, man, I just felt bad for him, but the love, the joy I felt, the joy both of us felt, just having a moment to sit down and talk. And I'm telling him about what I'm doing and around Chicago, and starting to move around the country doing poetry. And it was just so beautiful to have that experience, to have that reconnection, that exchange of energy. And it was such a beautiful moment. And I spoke with him a few times after. We weren't in the habit of relationships, so here and there we would talk. And I was fortunate. I was really grateful for those moments, because a year and a half later, he passed away, and I was devastated all over again. And now it was worse, because there was no going back to fix it. There was no picking up the phone and checking on him, or, man, I feel like we need to talk, or how you doing, or him hitting me up, how you doing, man, I just called to tell you I love you, man, you need something to eat. Those moments, they weren't there anymore. My father become an ancestor. He become one of the angels. He become one who would look out for my family spiritually. But it took moments to process that idea. So I found myself just hurt all over again. And what I realized is you have to be able to forgive, but forgiveness is an exercise. It's not saying it once or coming to grips with that idea one time. It's forgiving over and over again until it's a real moment, until it's locked and it's real. And when you think back, you don't fall back into the traps of those negative emotions. You remember what happened, but you don't feel devastated. You can pull to the joy. You can pull to the happiness. You can reflect on the good, because it's good in all of us. And I know with my pops, he was a great man, and he was a good man, but he was hurt. He was just hurt. And as I came of age, I realized what it was to be a man with feelings. He wasn't a superhero who couldn't be penetrated. He was a man. So I remember my mom's, she called me. I moved out to New York after doing Def Poetry. I did this poem called I Need to Write. And moved out to NY, and mom's called me up like, boy, what's going on? What's happening? I know something going on. You ain't been talking to me. You ain't been talking to Tari. And Tari, she was my girlfriend at the time, but, well, we had broken up, but we still talked every day. But it worked out. We good. We married, but you know what I mean? It was, my mom's knew that something was up, because I had disconnected. I cut off the source of people I love dearly. And when she hit me, she asked, what's going on? What's going on with you? And I decided to open up and tell her how I felt regarding my father since he had passed. And my mom, she listened and she heard me express my feelings of anger and depression and just, wishing it could have been something different. And after she listened, she lit into me and she said, "Look, your father was a good man. Let him rest in peace." And it hit me. I mean, when your mama talk to you, you go feel it. And it was something so striking about the love and the nurturing nature that she came with. But it was also the fact that she never spoke negatively of my pops. And I'm like, well, if anybody had the right to speak bad about him, it would have been her, because she had gone through the most with him. But she never spoke bad about him, ever. And she was right. He was a good man. I knew that. Deep down, I knew he was a good man. Once I, crawled through and dug through my sadness, my depression, my emotions, my negative emotions, once I got through all of that and the smoke cleared, I knew that there was a good man standing there. My father was a good man. And again, he was someone who had been hurt in his childhood, and maybe he just never found a way to deal with his hurt. So I understood that. I got it. So in that moment, when my mom said, "Let him rest in peace," I decided it was truly, truly time to let my father rest in peace. So I got off the phone and I wrote my dad a letter. I wrote him a poem, and that poem is called "Dear Father." I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish you could have seen how your baby boy flow. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish that you didn't have to go. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. Dear Dad, these words are being written and spoken because my heart and soul feel broken. I laugh to keep from crying, but I still haven't healed after all of the years of my goofiness and joking. You got me open, hoping this ill feeling will pass, won't last. I wear a mask so my peace won't ask for the truth. Truthfully speaking, the truth hurts, but I'm beyond hurting. I'm in pain. Why does it hurt so much? I find myself fighting with myself every day to remain sane. My peeps think I changed, maybe tripping off my fame, but I'm still the same old James. I know it's a shame I don't come around as much, but I don't want them to see me acting strange. I don't want them to feel one drop in my rain, but I can't seem to get these feelings to stop. I can't get these thoughts on my brain. Now when I really need to reach out for your dad and touch your hand, I can't believe you're out of range. I'm starving for your love and I'm begging, please ease the crave. When I was little, I thought you left because I wouldn't behave. Later on in life, I found out that it was the cane as well as other things. And with all the scars, it was hard, but I learned to forgive and forgave. I forgave and missed my basketball games and the touchdowns I scored the football games. I forgave you coming home high and drunk, wrestling with my mother going insane. I forgave missed all of my track meets and not being able to greet all the pretty girls that I wanted you to meet. I forgave missing my birthdays and graduations and not being there when I needed advice in certain situations. I forgave despite the fights, the tears, for all the years lost, wondering if I was loved. Sometimes all I needed was a call and a hug. I may understand that people break up and don't make up, and some relationships don't last forever, but why weren't we together? Mine could have found new man, but where was I gonna find new dad? Looking back, I wish you would have begged me, pleading my case, because I felt like I didn't matter, like I was deleted and erased. I would cry, still cry so much I get headaches. I try to get you on my mind, but I can't get you off of my face. I see you every time I see me, and I can't do nothing but ask God to bless me, expand my territory, place his hands on me, and keep evil far away from me. I asked him to protect me like I wanted you to protect me from the bullies and the police. Now to protect my soul, I write poetry and release. And some say I'm a beast, but I'm just trying to find peace so I can pick up the pieces of me that falling apart. I shopped all over for love, and I ended up with a lot of good items in my cart that help me pull out the dart and help me get out the dark. One being my art, but along the way, all of my decisions weren't so smart. Because my love was amputated, my life became complicated, my family. Well, Dad, I don't know if you knew or not, but my sweet, sweet family became dysfunctional. I mean, I remember hiding under the dining room table when you and Ma would fight. I remember dishes, pots, and pans being put in flight. I remember the hole that you punched in the wall. I remember when Ma calls from work and told me not to let you in, and you broke in, told me I'm gonna get y'all. I remember the alcohol and the smoke and going to the bathroom every 5 minutes so I wouldn't choke. I remember you called me out the blue and told me I had a brother that died that I never knew. I remember you snatched my train wheels off my little orange bike and making me ride when I was only 2. I remember you pushed Mom, she broke her ankle. I remember sitting there thinking, how could you do such a beautiful angel? I remember Mom waking us up in the middle of the night saying, shh, Jimmy, be quiet. Put some clothes in the jewels bag. We going to Grandma's, and if your father come up to your school, don't tell him where we be. I remember spending Christmas at Grandma's playing with my Stretch Armstrong thinking, man, this ain't my house. I wonder how Santa Claus found me. I remember your stinky feet. I remember all that pepper that you'll put in those ghetto meals that you'll fix for us to eat. I remember listening to you on the radio before I would go to school, WVON. I remember all the cars and planes that you were making. All the kids on the block thought my dad was so cool. I remember when you ran down the car and I was thinking, man, Dad's fast. I remember how you would curl your mustache. I remember the past. I remember the good and the bad. I remember thinking, is this love false? I remember us moving to the birds. My boys replaced my love that was lost, and they had made me laugh and giggle. My boy even taught me how to dribble so I could make the team, and I did. I thought that I would die without you, but Rome, Drake, Ike, Eric, and Todd made sure that I lived and was never sad. They even gave me their dads. Mr. Kemp, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Cross, and Mr. Price became my dads, my cool daddies. But the little boy in me still wants his daddy badly. I feel like a scared little boy afraid to become a man, but I think I'm ready. I think it's time. I think it's time to shine and get mine. I think it's time to shine and get mine so I can ease my mind, let my soul climb. I think it's time to stand as a man on my own too, just like you used to do before those demons started hunting you, because all I want to do is to make you and my proud. And I wonder if you are. I wonder if you know. I wonder if you know that God gave me a gift. I wonder if you know about the spirits that I lift. I wonder if you know I touch people with my words. I wonder if you know I inspire actions with my verbs. I wonder if you know that your baby boy did a show that aired for me to see on HBO, and that hard New York crowd that I didn't even know actually gave me a standing O. I know you're proud. I know you are, because I'm be the best just like you want to be. Watch and see. And just in case you can't, I'm going to scream it so loud that I shake the clouds and move them out the way of my sunshine, because that's what you are, Dad. James Ivy Richardson Sr., do you hear me? You are my sunshine. That's why I forgave you, because my love for you is still the same. It may have gone through a transformation, but it never really changed. So I swear on my mama and on my name, I'ma stop this rain, conquer this pain, make sure that you did not die in vain. And when I get to heaven, I'ma jump in your arms. We go kick back like when I was little and watch the Bears game. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish you could have seen how your baby boy flow. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish that you didn't have to go. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show.
The brotherhood of man will become a reality in this day.
In the news at this hour, an FBI mole who posed as a crooked attorney has testified that he won 4 favorable rulings after passing some $1,200 through middleman to Circuit Judge John Murphy. The 68-year-old Murphy's on trial in Chicago's federal court on charges of extortion, racketeering, and mail fraud. And in sports, the Cubs have the day off, the Sox 6, the Angels 4. The Sox will play California again tonight at Comiskey Park, and the Cubs at Montreal in an evening game. The metropolitan forecast now partly sunny, windy, very warm and humid with a chance of late afternoon or evening thunderstorms. The highs will get up into the 80s. Partly cloudy and warm tonight with a chance of thunderstorms and lows in the 70s. It'll be partly sunny, hot and humid Wednesday with a 20% chance of thunderstorms and highs in the lower 90s. Along the lake right now, 72. O'Hare, 75. Midway and WVON, it's 74 degrees. For WVON News, I'm Jim Richards.
From the basement speakers to the radio wave to the car sounds, my daddy would play all of his records. I mean all of his records. My daddy's records. From the basement speakers.
From the basement speakers.
To the radio waves.
To the radio waves.
To the car sound.
To the car sounds.
My daddy would play.
My daddy would play.
All of his records.
All of his records.
I mean all of his records.
All of his records.
My daddy.
My daddy.
My daddy's records.
They were black, thin, round, and vinyl, but big enough to house names like Aretha, Marvin, and Lionel. Some 33 inches, others 45, no matter the size, and move you to hop in a ride and hit the countryside. Nothing like a long trip, a road trip after a long week, cause hypnotic tones will speak. Medicine will leak right out of the speakers. Make you tap your gators or sneakers, gym shoes. I'm talking about cats who been cool, who will use mics to melt their gifts some wax, and later on cats will learn to scratch, and folks will go to car parties and meet their match, their mate, that they would later date. Love they would make, pushed by passion they would procreate, hooked on pleasure and the sound of love that would escape. My daddy's records.
From the basement speakers.
From the basement speakers.
To the radio waves.
To the radio waves.
To the car sound.
To the car sound.
My daddy would play.
My daddy would play.
All of his records.
All of his records.
He would play all of his records.
I mean all of his records.
My daddy.
My daddy.
My daddy's records.
Now, Pops was a Mississippi boy who was born down in West Point, but later in life he caught wind that the Midwest was the joint. So his dreams landed him up south in the land of Lincoln, but at first he didn't land the job that he was seeking, cause he yearned to be a DJ. Jim Richards, aka Brother J, who had no other choice but to drive buses for the CTA. But the story goes, that's where the DJ met PJ, who had Little J. And the South Side is where they chose to stay. And it was in that basement where me and my brothers would hear those records play. They would just take my pops to another world. When time stressed him, he had his Camels, malt liquor, and the records became his girl. And like a record pimp, he had thousands of them. When I would sneak and take a peek, they would be surrounding him. Talking about my daddy's records.
From the basement speakers.
From the basement speakers.
To the radio waves.
To the radio waves.
To the car sound.
To the car sound.
My daddy would play.
My daddy would play.
All of his records.
All of his records.
He would play all of his
He
records.
would play all of his records.
My daddy.
My daddy. My daddy.
My daddy's records.
My daddy's records. There was so many, I would wonder, how did he know what to play next? Bumping Smokey with little Stevie on deck. It was astonishing skills he was polishing up for his air check, cause checks don't fall out the air. But for a moment he was captivated by melodies, hypnotized by harmonies, put at ease by sound. I was born downtown on the Magnificent Mile and over in our sister city Motown. From Music Row and Broadway to Hollywood out in Big CA, he kept the gifts on replay. From rhythm and blues to the blues and dusties to hip hop, jazz and the oldies, the man was in love. And it was that love that got him on the radio. And it was his voice I would hear coming out the stereo. It was his name engraved on gold records. Now it's my name engraved on platinum records. So I guess one day when I have a little J, he'll say, check out my daddy's records.
From the basement speakers.
From the basement speakers.
To the radio waves.
To the radio waves.
To the car sound.
To the car sounds.
My daddy would play.
My daddy would play.
All of his records.
All of his records.
He would play all of his records.
He would play all of his records.
My daddy.
My daddy. My daddy.
My daddy's records.
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 My daddy's records. from the basement speakers
Speakers
to the radio waves,
to the radio waves,
to the car sound.
to the car
My
sound.
daddy would play.
My daddy would play
all of his records.
all of his
He
records.
would play all of his
He
records.
would play all of his records.
My daddy, my daddy,
My daddy, my daddy,
my daddy's record.
my daddy's records. Tari Ture.
Oh wow, where are the hand claps coming from?
Yeah, y'all give it up for Tari Ture. What's up, baby?
Hey there.
I ain't get a chance to welcome Tari Ture. Was trying to keep my transitions going, but I want y'all to give it up for the wonderful, the beautiful, the amazing, the talented, the gifted, the loving, the nurturing, the warm-hearted, sweet-spirited, super duper smart, super intellectual, intuitive,
Ooh, he working on something for later.
ooh-wee, sexy. Did I say
You can
sexy?
say this on the live, right?
Did I say sexy?
Don't blame me.
Sexy.
It's the
Oh, we did that without the reverb.
voice. Didn't need it.
Can we hear one more with the reverb?
You want you?
Yeah, one
it's a
more.
Sound check.
Yeah, one more. Let's do one
From
more.
the basement speakers.
From the basement speakers
to the radio
to
waves.
the radio waves
To the car sound.
to the car sound.
My daddy would play.
My daddy would play
all of his records.
all of his
He
records.
would play all of his
He
records.
would play all of his records.
My daddy, my daddy.
My daddy, my daddy,
My daddy's record.
my daddy's records.
My daddy's record.
My
Come on, Dad,
daddy's
these
records.
hand claps.
Yeah. Man, thank you, Tari Ture. This is the Dear Father virtual book concert. Very excited to be able to have a moment with you all. I hope y'all having an amazing Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, grandfathers, mentors, big brothers, uncles, those who look out for the shorties on the block. I salute you, and let's continue to rebuild our village. We wanted to present something today in honor of my pops. Happy Father's Day, Jim Richards, and in dedication to rebuilding the village. It's time that we heal. We have to heal so we can build. So that's what this experience was all about. And I hope that came across. Please, by all means, make sure you get your copy of Dear Father. Go to my website, j-ivy.com. That's the letter j-ivy.com. Grab your book. If you want to donate, hit the Cash App, $IVYOUSENT at Gmail. Ivius ENT, not at Gmail, just Ivius ENT. It's the Cash App.
Yeah.
And PayPal. You can hit the PayPal on my website,
on the Venmo,
j-ivy.com. And Venmo. What is it?
The same. IVYOUSENT, y'all.
Yeah, like instead of isn't it obvious, isn't it obvious? Like that.
Y'all get it?
Entertainment. Maybe they got it. I hope they got it. I hope
They
you
got
got
it.
it.
Give 'em some
Remember
hand
that.
claps. Give 'em
Yeah.
some hand claps.
Hand claps if you got it. Woo-wee! Yeah. That's for everybody that went dropped a little something in that Cash App and go get your copy. Get multiple copies. If you got it, if you know an organization, pick up some copies. We also have a curriculum that goes along with the book. I'll be doing some virtual Dear Father talks with the young people. So
And we're going
please
to be
be in
giving
tune.
away free books
Absolutely.
to the participants that come along. So as we are all progressing and navigating this time we're in, if you have the fortitude and the resource to help donate some of those books, let us know. Hit us up.
Absolutely.
DearFatherLetters@gmail.com is a great way to contact us directly.
Yeah.
And we love the support you all give, even if it's not a dollar amount. We love the love above it all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to got a few minutes left, and I want to do a poem that came about after the breakthrough, after breaking through that pain and that heaviness. I just felt incredible. And another big reason for presenting this is that you find your healing. And again, there's a lot of power in forgiveness. There's a lot of power of putting your feelings and your thoughts on the page. So if you're not necessarily a poet, if you don't consider yourself a poet, you know how to have a conversation. Have a conversation with yourself. Write that letter to yourself. Write that letter to your father. Write your dear father letters. And I have instructions how to do so in the book. So get the book, and we'll do this poem that came about on the other side of that breakthrough. This is an example of the joy you can find on the other side, and this is called Never Let Me Down.
When it comes to being true, at least true to me, one thing I found.
One thing I found.
Although you never let me down.
Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down.
When it comes to being true, at least true to me, one thing I found.
One thing I found.
Although you never let me down.
Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down. We all here for a reason on a particular path. You don't need a curriculum to know that you're a part of the math. Cats think I'm delirious, but I'm so damn serious. That's why I expose my soul to the globe, the world. I'm trying to make it better for these little boys and girls. I'm not just another individual. My spirit is a part of this. That's why I get spiritual. But I get my hymns from him, so it's not me, it's he that's lyrical. I'm not a miracle, I'm a heaven-sent instrument. My magnetic regiment navigates melodic notes to your soul and your mental. That's why I'm instrumental. Vibrations is what I'm into. Yeah, I need my loot by rent day, but that ain't what gives me the heart of Kunta Kinte. I'm trying to give us free like Cinque. I can't stop. That's why I'm hot. Determination, dedication, motivation. I'm talking to you, my many inspirations. When I say that I can't let you or self down. If I'm on the highest cliff, on the highest rift, and you slipped off the side and clinched onto your life in my grip, I would never, ever let you down. And when these words are found, let it be known that God's penmanship has been signed with a language called love. That's why my breath is felt by the deaf, and why my words are heard and confined to the ears of the blind. I too dream in color and in rhyme. So I guess I'm one of a kind in a full house. Cause whenever I open my heart, my soul, or my mouth, a touch of God rains out.
When it comes to being true, at least true to me,
one thing I found. One thing I found.
Although you never let me down.
Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down. Get up, I get
down. When it comes to being true, at least true to me,
one thing I found. One thing I found.
Although you never let me down.
Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down. Get up, I get down. Yeah. Get that Dear Father, Breaking the Cycle of Pain. j-ivy.com. j-ivy.com. We're at the end of the Dear Father book concert. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow me at the letter J_IVY on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow Tari Torae on Instagram and Twitter at TARREYTORAE. TARREYTORAE. Tari Torae. Man, let's take them out. You know, we can just stroll on out. Make sure y'all get that book, Dear Father. Follow us. Love y'all. Love to y'all families. Please be safe. Stay healthy. And we in the fight, y'all. It's a war outside. And trust and believe. Love is going to win. Love is going to prevail. Let's keep our eyes open. Let's stay aware. Let's stay healthy. Let's stay conscious. Let's be loving to one another, loving to our neighbors, loving to our families, and do our best to be our best. And we go win. No matter what kind of hate and evil they throw at us, love will win. All right, we got God on our side, so we go continue to move forward, and we go continue to raise our vibration. Yeah. Dear Father, the virtual book concert. My name's Jay Ivy. I dove in with a grin, bumped my chin, scraped my knee, earned my scars. Pray for me, you're such a blessing. I'm wrestling with thought, trying to pin something to the pad. The fat was trimmed but grew back. I went against the grain of my instinct, said I told you not to do that. I knew that, this, that, boom, bad. Then you feel your stomach churn, burn like reflux. I make mistakes and lose trust. Stagnant's my magnum when thoughts are tragic, but when I'm clear, I steer clear the fear I hear. You hear that? Sounds like a dream come true. Refreshing like when dreams come to you and reveal themselves in a song, a poem. Straighten you out like a hot comb, a perm. New lessons help us unlearn our ignorance. Each moment is significant, but we take them for granted. I'm trying to rebuild the damage, bridge the gap, tap into the source, breathe through my course. What board is this? What's the mission? What's the plan? Listen, it's us against the damn, but damn, they winning. They think they winning. You ain't winning. Trying to hypnotize us with their lies. Wake up, open your eyes, stretch your soul, connect with the role you were put here to play. Looking at barrels and damn the spray. We bulletproof. Who let the bullets loose? You can't strike us all down. We hurting, but we ain't all in the ground. Each death fertilized our spirit, our growth, our hope. Our hearts still pound like the first drum played. We birth civilizations like the first love made. Oh, it feels so good, just like I knew it would. I'm back to meet my neighbors in the hood, back to looking to the stars, looking into hearts, connecting, reflecting. We all been detecting a change, a shift, a tilt in the axis like a close call, something happening. Feel that something's happening, unraveling, I'm babbling purpose. Have you found yours? Ignore yours. You're getting the itch to explore more, open more doors, peek in. We all seeking peace to the east, my brother to the east. I'm from an ex-clan, finishing these moves so I can move to the next plan. I'm plotting, yes, I get it popping. I pop in so I like it, intertwine and dance between minds, hands open wide. I'm catching feelings. Ooh, I got that spirit. Can't you hear it? Yeah, you hear it. They fear it when we get up there, when we climb those stairs, when we scale the air, when we breathe without stress. Yes, we forget how blessed we are. We come far, but not far enough. I look in the mirror, ask myself, what you gonna do in the clutch? I'm breaking the cuss, pushing past the cuss. Pay attention to what they doing to us. Clarity is a must. Habits come calling. In the eye of the storm, I'm holding on to everything that's calming. The fight is exhausting. Thank God I ain't lost it. Thank God I ain't lost it. I stay praying to him. Time to get back in the gym, back on the pen, working it out, cause I know it's gonna all work out in the end. Why pretend like it ain't? You think things gonna defeat you, but they can't. You stronger than that. I'm stronger than that. I done stood on mine. Ain't no turning back. All I got is my word. These words, these conversations, let them be heard in your nerves, digging your reserves, and let's raise our vibration. Your vibration. Let's raise it, y'all.
Come on and raise
your vibration. Vibration. Raise your vibration. Woo! Raise your vibration. Vibration. Raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. 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 Raise your vibration. Please give it up for Tari Teray one more time. Tari Teray.
And y'all give it up for Mr. J.I.V., NAACP Image Award-winning, Peabody Award-winning, Telly Award-winning, Grammy certified. He's doing a lot out here, y'all. He's also the National Poet Laureate for the Ernie Barnes Foundation. I'm going to throw out a few more points on the next slide, but I'll just get us started right there. My favorite poet,
we out in these streets.
Some claps.
We out in these streets. Shout out to my brother Maurice, Mo Better Brown, getting us
Lee
live
Farmer.
and direct. Lee Farmer, Eugene. Love y'all, man. We check y'all next time. We gonna be back real soon. It's gonna get better and better and better. Love y'all. Happy Father's Day.
Love y'all.
God bless. Stay healthy. Much love. Yeah, that was fun.